Hey guys, this is Fei Wu from Feisworld Media, and in this video I want to talk to you guys about something that has come up more and more recently called Zoom fatigue or over-Zoomed. I get on a Zoom call and I hear all the time that people tell me, Fei, I'm over-Zoomed. I have had 8 hours of Zoom calls. My eyes are super tired and what can I do? So I think that's happening to a lot of us, whether you use Zoom professionally to conduct all your meetings, including your fitness and dance routines with your students, or you're using it as a way of, connecting with new potential clients or friends and family. It can get really tiring. I have been using Zoom since 2017, so I have some experience. Plus, for a decade before that, I worked as a digital project manager, which many of you guys don't know because I'm not a Zumba instructor. So I want to share some of the techniques that I'm able to consider using Zoom, but at the same time rescuing my eyes, my body, my mental and physical health from all of this. Again, some of this may seem trivial, but I think it helps for me to inform and just remind this very community how important it is to step away. And there are things that you can do strategically to reduce or even eliminate Zoom fatigue. So let's get started. Step number one is that you want to make sure to have breaks between your Zoom meetings. Now, I know a lot of you guys, especially when you talk to your clients or these days, family and friends, to say everybody's busy, let's all get on the same page. But make sure that you have a block between your Zoom meetings. I recommend 30 minutes just because, some meetings will run over. So you don't want to have 3 to 4, 4 to 5, one meeting after another. Now, I know you can't always avoid having 2 meetings together. You probably already noticed this. If you have 2 hours of Zoom meetings back to back, then it gets pretty tiring because you're sitting here all the time. If you haven't considered a standing desk, now you're at home, consider purchasing one. I'm going to list an item below that I use at home, which I love, and it's very affordable because when I started looking into standing desks, literally was at the end of last year, which was 2019, and I wanted to purchase something that's so easy for me to kind of pick up and lower down without a button because I didn't want there to be any electric issues that I personally wouldn't know how to fix. Plus, those desks will be way more expensive than I was comfortable with. So I didn't want to spend $300 to $500 and I settled on this, which is just a little over $100. Now, what happens if you have 2 meetings back to back and you're standing, you're sitting, and you're still feeling pretty tired? You need to plan for a bigger break in between longer Zoom meetings. So what you want to do is that there are a number of exercises that you can do. I'm sure there are many inspiring videos on YouTube, but at the very basic is you want to do some of the basic yoga poses, which means you want to stretch. You can stretch standing up, sitting down, or even lying down. One of the things that I learned from a physical therapist that I had years ago was to use a medicine ball. So what you can do is literally lying on a medicine ball and just lean back and let everything just hang. So that's going to open up your back, your shoulders, your neck. So here's tip number 4, I guess at this point, which is you don't have to use Zoom when you don't have to, right? When you use Zoom meetings, the idea is that you stare at the screen, you share your video, which makes a lot of people self-conscious because you don't want to be looking away or typing on your computer, which would be too obvious. Now, not every single meeting needs to happen on Zoom, right? We still have our old-fashioned phones available and just regular phone call. I'm not even talking about FaceTime or anything. So suggest phone calls when you don't have to necessarily look at the other person. Or to be frank, if you know this person pretty well, I say old-fashioned phone calls are just as good. However, I do agree if this is a new business meeting or with your clients or people you want to do business with, well, yeah, looking at each other on Zoom virtually is better. Tip number 5. Just because you have to call into Zoom virtual meetings doesn't mean that you have to stare like what I'm doing right now. You don't have to stare at the screen, right? We all feel self-conscious enough to have to make eye contact. Sure, if there's one person, you're looking at the screen more or less, but if there are multiple people, you can actually relax because you think that everybody's staring at you, but they're really not. Also, another way to not only relax your eyes, but actually make you look better is instead of looking at the feedback directly from your screen, you can actually look at the webcam if you have one. So this way you will appear to be in more connection with the person you're speaking with. Now, I think posture is something that we talk about, but once you start working at home all the time, everything is right there and available to you, you actually get up a lot less. So make sure that you sit up straight. You can use a cushion behind your lower back to give you more support. The chair that you use is very important. I do have a separate video on my Ergo office. That's not one of the best video I have because it was a little bit shaky. I will include some of the products in this description below as well. Now, I'm not sure if you've heard of these glasses. These glasses are something that you wear when you're working in front of the computer. Now, my eyesight is almost perfect, which I'm really lucky for, but I do wear these glasses every once in a while. I might not be wearing it all day, to be honest, every time I work in front of the computer, but I do tend to wear it, especially I find myself in the middle of a really long Zoom meeting. I feel the need to wear it. These glasses are really cheap on Amazon. I think always under $20. So in case I lose them, I tend to get just a few pairs to be ready. Now, I mentioned that you want to get up and leave, but we think about it all the time. We can watch the clock and the time, but it's actually much better to have an automatic reminder. Yes, you can simply use your Apple Watch. By default, Apple Watch will remind you to get up every hour. And there's even a goal that it wants you to get up, I think, out of 8 or 10 hours of the day, and it will show you at the end of the day if you have accomplished that goal. I quite like this feature, but there are also other web apps you can download for free. So there's a method called Pomodoro, and basically it helps people to understand that they should get up more frequently. In that case, every 25 minutes, and then you take a 5-minute break. Then you go back to work. So the breaks are shorter, so are the working hours and the working time. I use that, and there's an app I use as part of a Chrome extension for free called Be Focused. So every single morning I list out the tasks I want to do, I need to do, and then I put the timer on. I just hit the play button and it's going to show and count down 25 minutes. I quite like it, even though I was used to working for a longer period of time. In this case, it gives me an opportunity to get up sooner. It almost pressures me to actually be very focused during that 25 minutes. I find myself less likely to check Facebook, my text messages. One more thing I want to talk about are the scent in your room. Believe it or not, there is a pretty big psychological connection between the scent, our environment. But for me, whenever I'm in a meeting, what I tend to do is I love these essential oils. There's several brands, which I'll link below. This new one, which is, organic, natural health, called Sage, S-A-J-E, I discovered when I was traveling in California for my documentary, and I love them. This is the travel size, and then you can put in your purse, leave it on your desk, and just by simply sniffing this, trust me, just puts you in such a different mood. The only downside is I find this brand to be a little more expensive. So if you find other cheaper options on Amazon, I say go for it. And the funny thing is, people in Thailand really specialize in really good, strong essential oil and green herb oil, that sort of thing. I bought a bunch of these from eBay before the pandemic, so I can only imagine that it's going to be a little harder to find these now or get them shipped soon enough. So check it out, find out what you like. Now, the last thing I would say is think about how you want to plan the rest of your day. That is really important as well. If for the 8 hours you're working, you're getting up, down for your Zoom meeting, think about the rest of your day. Believe it or not, right now, it's even more important to take care of your own health, right? So put yourself first and prioritize your health and fitness, because that's why I found all of you, so many people. I think you guys are really saving me, because when I put your classes on my calendar, I know I'm in. I cannot commit myself to anything else between 6 to 7 p.m. but you, nobody else but you. I think that's really important to say no, honestly. You can't say yes to every Zoom meeting because it would just be infinite. So I hope you like this video. I know it's a little bit different than some of the other ones, but I felt the need, the urge to do this. So thank you for staying with me. Check out the other videos that we have on this channel. Let me know in the comments below, every time this video and all the other videos, let me know what you find most helpful. Thank you so much. Please hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye for now.